playing on a jukebox. Had to be flashing like the Daily Double. Had to be playing on TV. Had to be loud-mouthed on the Comedy Hour. Had to be announced over loudspeakers. CIA and Mafia are in cahoots. Had to be said in old ladies' language. Had to be said in American headlines. Kennedy stretched and smiled and got double-crossed by low-life goons and agents. Rich bankers with criminal connections, dope pushers in CIA, working with dope pushers from Cuba, working with big-time syndicate Tampa, Florida. Had to be said with big mouth, had to be moaned over factory foghorns, had to be chattered on car radio news broadcasts, had to be screamed in the kitchen, had to be yelled in the basement where uncles were fighting, had to be howled on the streets by newsboys to bus conductors, had to be foghorned in the New York harbor, had to echo under hard hats, had to turn up the volume in university ballrooms, had to be written in library books, footnoted, had to be in headlines of the Times and Le Monde, had to be barked over TV, had to be heard inside alleys through barroom doors, had to be played on wire services, had to be bells ringing, comedians stopped dead in the middle of a joke in Las Vegas, had to be FBI Chief J. Edgar Hoover and Frank Costello syndicate mouthpiece meeting in Central Park together, weekends in New York, reported posthumously Time magazine. Had to be the Mafia and CIA together, started war on Cuba, Bay of Pigs and poison assassination headlines. Had to be the dope cops and the Mafia sold all that heroin in America. Had to be FBI and organized crime working together in cahoots against the commies. Let Luciano out of jail, take over Sicily, Mediterranean drug trade. Had to be Corsican goons and office strategic services, paid busted 1948 dock strikes in Marseille. 60s port transshipment Indochina heroin. Had to be ringing on multinational cash registers, worldwide laundry for organized criminal money. Had to be CIA and Mafia and FBI together. Bigger than Nixon, bigger than war. Had to be a gorged throat full of murder. Had to be mouth and ass, a solid mass of rage, a red-hot head, a scream in the back of the throat. Had to be in Kissinger's brain, had to be in Rockefeller's mouth, had to be Central Intelligence, the family, our thing, the agency, Mafia, organized crime, FBI, dope cops, and multinational corporations, one big set of criminal gangs working together in cahoots. His men, murderers everywhere, outraged on the make, secret, drunk, brutal, dirty Reich, on top of a slag heap of prisons, industrial cancer, plutonium smog, garbage cities, grandma's bed sores, father's resentments. Had to be the rulers wanted law and order. They got rich on wanted protection status quo, wanted junkies, wanted Attica, wanted Kent State, wanted war in Indochina. Had to be CIA and the Mafia and the FBI. Multinational capitalists, strong-arm squads, private detective agencies for the very rich, and their armies, navies, and air forces bombing planes. Had to be capitalism in the vortex of this rage, this competition man-to-man, horses' heads in the capo's bed, turf and rumbles, hitmen, gang wars across oceans, bombing Cambodia, settled the score when Soviet pilots manned Egyptian fighter planes. Chile's red democracy bumped off with White House pots and pans, a warning to Mediterranean governments, secret police embraced for decades, NKVD and CIA keep each other's secrets, OGPU and DIA never hit their own, KGB and FBI one mind, brute force, worldwide and full of money. Had to be rich, had to be powerful, had to hire technology from Harvard, had a murder in Indochina, 500,000, had a murder in Indochina, 2 million, had a murder in Czechoslovakia, had a murder in Chile, had a murder in Russia, had a murder in America.